Hi, I'm Jim McCutcheon, a Corps volunteer with Habitat for Humanity. Today we're going to talk about using a chop saw or a miter saw. Before we start talking about it, let's take the battery out of this one, or if you got a corded model, unplug it. There are many variations of chop saws or miter saws. This one happens to be a sliding double compound miter saw. So the miter comes from this action. I can cut a board that's laying flat in different directions. And to release your blade, that's the chop saw part of it. The sliding mechanism, this action here, allows you to cut a wider board. So that you could have a smaller saw blade and then cut just as wide a board if you have a sliding compound miter saw. In the compound miter saw, you can also tilt the saw blades these ways to make two different type of bevel cuts. So that's kind of the advanced lesson, but I just wanted to show you, get familiar with the piece of equipment you're using to see where the locks and the releases are before you play around with it. A couple other things. This saw, or these saws, when the blade is raised, there's opportunity to hurt yourself. So the rule of thumb is make sure you maintain 6 inches away from the saw blade when you're cutting. So if you're a right-handed person, you'll hold your wood in your left hand 6 inches away and use the saw with your right hand. So if you're right-handed, your right hand's on the controls and your left hand's holding the wood. If you're left-handed, you can switch and hold the wood with your right hand and operate machinery with your left hand. And even if you're a righty, you can learn to do this. What I don't want to see is, I don't want to see this, or I don't want to see this. Don't cross your arms because you lose visual contact and you put one of your limbs very close to that blade. So either both hands on the same side for this cut, or holding your left hand away from here for the right-handed cut. So, and before you make a cut, you have to find out where the safety is on the switch, and this one's on the bottom. So I move my safety, I pull my switch, I start the blade turning before I actually touch the wood, and then I slowly go through the wood. So let me put the battery in and let's make a cut, and you'll see how it goes. So you bring your blade down to see where your mark is and slide it back and forth if you need to. So we ready? You hold the wood tightly to the fence and with your left hand and keep it away, and let your working partner know you're about to cut, and start the blade. And just let the blade come to a stop before you raise it back up. It's just a better safety technique. All right, thank you. Another thing, if I had been cutting for this small block and it's too big, I don't want to see you put that small block in there and try to cut it, because my hand would only be a couple of inches away from that saw blade. So that's a big no-no. Just start over again, cut off a new piece so you can keep your hand away from the saw blade. So those are the things that we thought you might need to know about a chop saw. Again, if you have any questions, just ask your supervisor or some of the other people so that you understand completely before you operate a saw or any other tool, because we want you to come home safe. See you on the job site.